Hello friends, welcome back. You are here with Carrie from Carrie Lee Creations, and today we're going to use some fun products from the stamp market. So I kind of wanted to play with color today and using some kind of unexpected colors to make some fall cards. So let's go ahead and change the camera and take a look at what I have today. Alright, so here are the products and my color palette. I kind of went with a light and dark for each one. So I've got the citrine and the greenery Oxide inks, the golden and the melon, and the papaya and the cherry kisses. And this was I've also used the coordinating papers for each of these colors, and that's kind of what I built my cards from this color palette. So the products I'm using, is this fun little set called the Mini Autumn Leaves. And they have a larger set now to make bigger leaves, but this is one from a few years ago that was smaller, and I just wanted to play with this a little bit. I paired that with another one called Thankful for You, which is another of the small sets, and I like these small sets because they're more economical. You can pick them up for less expensive than a lot of the larger sets. I also have this one that came from one of the cutest card kits, but I believe it is sold separately, and it's called the Grateful Greetings, and it also has coordinating dies that match. This also came from that same card kit, but it is also sold separately, and these are called, let me get the name right, Nested Fancy Frames, and I really like these. I used them on most of the cards to kind of give a similar look to my cards, and that was a fun thing to play with. I'm using this background on one of my cards. Another product that is fairly new that I used on several cards is the beautiful layered bow, and you can make a bow tie, or you can use all the pieces and make like a fancier bow, but this is a really fun die. I think this one's only $14 too. It's a great one to pick up. I used these Nature's Blooms on a few of the cards. And then with this set, and what is the name of this one? This is called the Simple Card Keeper. Excuse me. And it makes a dimensional thing, but I just used this label to be a background for one of my floral arrangements. I think that's everything that I used, other than maybe a sentiment or two from another set, but that's the majority of what I used. Okay, let's get started. So for my first card, I inked up all of my leaves using the different inks here, and I stamped the spine of all the leaves in a brown color, which I didn't pull my brown. For all of the sentiments, I stamped them in VersaFine and heat embossed them with some gold embossing powder. So I'm going to go ahead and layer these up, and my idea for this card was to kind of build a wreath around my fancy frame here using the dies, and I have put some foam on the back of some of them, but not all of them, so that way I can have a little bit of dimension going around my frame. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop this frame up as well. Amy is the name of the lady who runs the stamp market company, and she really likes dimension. So a lot of her products are kind of designed with the intentions of them being layered a lot, but you always have the option of not layering them, of course. But I tend to do more layers on these cards. Like I'm going to layer this one, I'm going to raise this one on foam as well, and I don't always do that. I often just have one layer, but that's something she does in a lot of her videos. She, will have 2 or 3 different layers. So I have found with her products, I kind of like that look as well. So we're going to just go for it. My mom and my sister won't like that because, they like those single layer cards, but I'm popping it up anyway. My husband is downstairs and he's yelling for me. He doesn't know that I'm recording. So don't be surprised if he comes walking in a second. So I'm going to start with one of my my raised leaves right down here. And then I'm just going to kind of add in, and we're going to build our leaf wreath just going around. And I want some of my frame to show, so I'm putting them in, but some of them I'll let hang off, and we'll just kind of play around with it. You know, try not to overthink it too much. Right here. And I think, well, I'm not sure about that yet. There we go. And let's see. Go ahead and put another one of these up here. Trying to space out my colors. I didn't have this all like totally planned, so we'll just kind of play with it until we get it the way we want it. Okay. And I think I want this one raised up, so I am just going to go ahead and add another strip of foam here. That one right here. This one right here. And then this one, which I can put right over here. We're going to go ahead and use these others and kind of fill in as well in some of our spaces that we have. And let's see, right up here. Yeah. All right. So this is going to be our first card using the layered leaves. I like the way that looks. This is a new Plaid, the large chunky Plaid paper pack that she has come out with for the holidays. And it just gives you, in several of their color palettes, just this large kind of buffalo plaid looking paper. So I've used, that's pretty much the only paper that I used in this set of cards. So there's our first Thanksgiving card. Let's move on to our next one. And let's see, what have we got here? So this one is one that I did bring in a product from another company because I wanted a background, and originally I picked this one, but with this design that was too busy of a background, so I made a separate card for that background, and I'm using this old lawn fawn kind of pillowed look cover plate to do this one. And on this one I really used the fancy frames. I cut all of them in different paper, and I've gone ahead and I've stamped the For You and heat embossed it, and then I've also, the cursive thankful is going to go right across the top, kind of like this. And then we're going to use a variety of the greenery and flowers that I made from the other set. Now I'm just going to put this on my white card base so that these white eyelets just show through. Let me grab a card base. We'll go ahead and do that. So that's why I didn't poke all these out, because they're going to be underneath, and I find that very tedious. You'll have to let me know what you think. I prefer something like this where the pieces just fall out real easily. These little things, I often have to go and poke them out, and I don't like doing that. So I find myself reaching for cover plates that the pieces come out easily. Okay, just go ahead. I believe this one goes corner to corner. Yes, it does. Oops, it goes corner to corner if you put it on straight. I'll have to trim that edge off a bit. I got it crooked. But there we go. And for this, I am going to do some popping up, but the layers I'm going to go ahead and layer on, and then we'll pop up the different layers. first layer. Second layer, and I'm going to put foam on both of these. Oops, there we go. Another little piece here. Yep. All right. Just going to center that on there. I think that's pretty with that layered bit on the back, or you know, this design on the back, because the other one just was too, and I had it white on white too. I hadn't put the paper, the pink paper behind it, but it was just too much. So we're going to center this piece right inside here. And now I'm going to add some glue here to my thankful. And I'm going to try to get as much of it as I can to be on the popped up part. So I want to avoid having to put foam under it. So I think it'll be okay, just like this. Okay, right here under this L, I'll put just a little glue. All right. I'm liking how that's looking. And then the rest of my plan was to just add some greenery and some flowers onto this design. And all this greenery was from that little thankful set that the sentiment came in. Now I do think right here under this one leaf, I'm going to put just a little piece of foam because I'm afraid that leaf will get damaged. We go. Put one over here on this side. And I think I'll just put one more flower. We'll use this one on another card later. I wasn't sure how I was going to use them, but I'm just going to tuck that right under there. All right, now I do have this other leaf, and that I could put on under there. I'm going to cut it so that it's not, I can tuck it more under there, but I like him having two leaves. All right, there is card number 2. I think that just comes together so pretty. All right, so another thank you card. We'll save that flower for later. And let's work on this one. So like I said, I had made this white layer to go on the other card to go white on white, but I thought it was too busy. So I came up with another plan. And with these leaves, on the first card, all of these leaves were stamped with the Oxide inks. But for these, I die cut them out of the coordinating paper. So they're all still the same colors, they're just out of paper, and then I use some brown paper to do the spines of the leaf. So that kind of shows you the two different ways that your options for die cutting them or stamping them. I always like to try it both ways. Now on this, for the bow, you get a top and a bottom. And sometimes I'll just use two different colors of paper. But on this, I didn't really have a light orange and a dark orange. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to add a little bit of tinting to the back piece just to make it a little bit darker. So I'm going to get my melon ink and right here. And I'm just going to, right here on the edges, add a little dark. That is the only portion that's going to show, is right here on this edge. Now on this piece, I'm going to add just a little bit of that darkness just right there where the pleats are. Okay. I think on this I'm going to add a little bit too. I forgot about this piece. Just what's left on my, there we go. All right, let's construct our bow. I have already put some foam on the back side. And it's so super simple, you just layer it up. Now this piece I'm just going to glue down. You can layer it as well, but I kind of like it just glued down. Oops, I always have this upside down, always. Okay, it fits right in there, just like that. So my plan is to put my bow right here at the top. With my sentiment right underneath. Now, I probably should have made like a circle for my sentiment to go on, but honestly, I didn't think of it until, you know, just moments ago. So we're just going to go with how I have it. But I do think this would look nice with a circle kind of as a focal point here. And then the rest of my plan is to just have my leaves falling, you know, like it's fall and the leaves are just cascading down. So I have some of them foamed and some of them not, just like on the prior card. And I'm just going to put them around. There we go. I think I want this other pink one over here. Like this. Here, I think this one I'm going to put over here. And we'll do the one more kind of to fill in the space right here. All right. Now I do think another little one right here might do well since those both went under, but I do like the overall layout of this card, and there is card number 3. All right, for our next card, we're still using the gingham paper, and I've gone ahead and glued it down. I've got another sentiment that's heat embossed, some more leaves that are cut with the paper. And maybe if I have an extra one, I can put it in over here because I do think that needs another leaf, so I may save one. And we're using another one of the fancy frames. I really like these fancy kind of label looking frames. And again, we're going to double pop them up. Put it just a little closer to the top than the bottom, but mostly, and I didn't even get it centered, boy. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, we're gonna go with that. And sentiment fits perfectly right in there. And now let's add our leaves. So my plan was to kind of have my leaves and the big flower right down here with some leaves and the smaller flower up here with some leaves, and we'll call this one done. So let's go ahead, and I am going to use a little bit of foam on this one. I'm going to pop it up right there. And then for this one, I'm going to glue it down right here. And then we'll add our flower. And for my flower, I'm going to put some foam on it as well. Right here on the back side. Position that right there. And now for our top flowers, I'm going to kind of do the same thing. About like this, I think. Now this is one design that I think I may come back and add like some gems and things. I didn't pull any I have one little bag over here. I have this one that we can add a few that way if we want to. And this flower, I just decided to put it right up on the frame, so I didn't pop it up. But there is our simple design. I'm so grateful for you for this one. So I'm just going to add a couple little places for some gems. Grab a little tray. And whoops, I dumped them. And these are those little discs, which I kind of like. And these are clear with just a little bit of shine to them. And we have one more. It's right here. All right, I think we need one more right up there. And we'll use this small one. All right. There's card number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And I did save one, so let's put that right in here. There we go. Just kind of finish that one off like it. Okay. So for my final card for this, I have one more of the jumbo plaid look, and this is the one that I struggled with the most. I saved it for last. I thought maybe a great idea would come to me as I was crafting, but no, it still hasn't. And my problem with it is the sentiment. So let's go ahead. I have a strip here, but I have no idea what I'm going to put on it. So I may come back to it later and finish it up. I don't know. I don't have a sentiment. So here's all my leaves and my different pieces. This is one with my bow. I have a lighter piece and a darker piece. But I am going to come in with my papaya ink and add a little shading. I'm going to use, this is just a little index card that I have here. That's what I'm using for my blending palette here. Okay. We are putting the tails on this one, so I'm going to add a little bit of that shading to the tails. And to the centerpiece. There we go. And let's see, I don't know which is the top. This is the top right here, so we'll add just a little bit right here on top. Okay. Whoops. Oh, I hate when I do that. Let me get a little bit of water. I try to keep my desk tidy. Okay. And I have ink all over my hands today. It's just the way it is. All right. Add a little bit of foam to the back side here. I just noticed I got it a little off. Let's fix that. There we go. I had a piece of foam showing and I don't like that, so I had to chop that off of there. All right, I'm going to try to get that layered up properly. For some reason, I really liked the green and the pinks together with this color palette. It's like I matched the yellows and oranges, but I really like the greens and pinks together for fall. All right, and now we're just going to add a little bit right there. And boom, there's our pretty bow. Isn't that nice? I like that a lot. Okay, and my plan for this is to kind of go about right here, and then above it is going to be my circle. Okay, so for now, I'm not going to glue it down, my bow. I'm going to do the circle first, and I'm going to pop it up. Because I seem obsessed with popping up tonight. I don't know. Let's just do it just like that, okay? I'm going to let my bow sit here so I can maybe get the placement well. Okay. Now my plan is to add my flowers right on top here of my little, whatever you call that, this little thing. Somebody think of the word, I can't think of it. And then maybe, oops, not even sure how I want that. I thought I wanted to combine the stamped leaves with the other leaves here, just to, you know, see if we like that. About like that, I think. Okay, let's put one of these together. That didn't sound right, but you know what I mean. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue right in the center and then layer them up, offsetting the petals. And then put a little dot in the center and add this little piece right here. All right. Go ahead and pop up my flower. And this flower has a petal cut off kind of, so I'm going to aim it towards this one so this one can kind of cover up that mistake, because that's what we do, right? If you have a mistake, you hide it. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and put this one over here. And we're going to add this one right here. All right, so my plan is to just kind of have my bow go right up in there. So it looks like I'm going to have to put some foam. Label, that's what that thing is called, a label. I couldn't think of the word. I don't know if there's ever been a video where I popped so much stuff up. But sometimes, like I said, her things are just designed to pop up. I'm keeping my foam away from that top edge because I know that that's got to tuck up under there. Put this little piece here in the middle. And this is my last card. I believe this video just has 5, if I remember right. Oops. I have one more fall video planned with Stamp Market products, and then I have a couple Christmas ones. So I'm tucking this just right up there under the flowers so it looks connected. And then I'm just going to let go and let that drop. There we go. That is my last card. So my plan was to have like a little banner, and I stamped it out and the stamping messed up, so I think I might have thrown it away. But here's another little banner, and I was just gonna tuck like a little banner and kind of have it curled coming out of the bow as if it was kind of like a gift or something. That one's a little big, but I think you get what I'm saying. But I didn't like it, so then maybe I'll put something down here. I don't know how we're going to do the sentiment. I don't have a great idea. I like the banner idea, but I couldn't find a sentiment that I liked that said what I wanted it to say. So I think for now, rather than putting something on here that I don't like, I'm just going to kind of let it be in limbo here and hold. And when I find something that will work, I'll pop it on there. But I do like the big bow being under the flowers instead of on top. The whole thing maybe could have been shifted down a little bit, but that's all right. Let's look at our cards. You are the best. No sentiment. I am grateful for you. I think this one's my favorite. Thankful for you. And then here is our, I'll do them this way. There we go. There's our cards that we made. Aren't they pretty? What do you think of the color palette that I picked for fall with our oxides? It's kind of I added some pinks and things in there that are a little different maybe than I usually use for fall, but I really like the way they turned out. All right, thank you so much for joining me for today's video, and I look forward to crafting with you again soon. And I've got to tell you, I'm not selling anything. I'm just crafting here, so I appreciate you coming by and crafting with me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.